Vermont's Division for the Blind. Vermont's specialized vocational rehabilitation agency for people who are blind or visually impaired. Colby Massey is a paramedic. He sits in the garage with an ambulance behind him.
I've found with visual impairments, it can be hard to accept outside resources because people become so proficient on doing things on their own way.
Colby walks down a hallway into a garage with ambulances.
But there's definitely resources, if they're utilized, that can really help you become successful a lot easier.
Mark Companion is an orientation and mobility instructor.
Yeah, like most people, when they're diagnosed, I was in denial. Oh, everything's okay. I've got this. I don't need any support. I'm good. I know how to do the things I do. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't realize that there are opportunities and services out there that could be helpful.
Jessie Marlin McLean is an ESL teacher.
For me, asking for help is really hard.
Jessie stands at a whiteboard in a classroom teaching.
I'm an independent person who doesn't like to lose my independence.
Jessie sounds out the letters written on a whiteboard and looks at a student off camera.
To accept my visual impairment is to know that I need help.
Colby is wearing a paramedic's uniform, sitting in front of an ambulance.
My name is Colby Massey. I'm a paramedic with the town of Morristown. DBVI was able to come out and do a job assessment for me, and we were able to identify together things that would help me do my job better.
Colby climbs into the back of the ambulance. There is a blue stretcher in the back.
Which is still things I use today, such as my Microsoft Surface, which I use every day when I'm at work for my patient charting and my reports.
Heather Allen is a vocational rehabilitation counselor. There's a stretcher and an educational skeleton in the room behind her.
And what I really love about our services is that they can they're holistic and they really cater to the individual. What is their employment goal and what kinds of services can we provide to help them reach their goal?
Colby climbs in the ambulance and starts working on a heart rate device.
It's amazing to see people become empowered to take control of their life, to not shy away from, not try to hide their vision, to embrace it and say, this is a part of me. That's okay. I'm great as I am, and actually I'm pretty amazing.
I was able to adapt with technology, and I worked alongside DBVI to figure out what would work best for me to be the most successful.
Colby wears a vest that reads paramedic. He talks into his walkie-talkie on his shoulder. The ambulance says Morristown EMS.
They're very good at informing people of what their options are and leaving it up to the client to be able to decide what would work best for them.
And my name is Jessie Marlin McLean.
Jessie stands in a classroom speaking to a student standing in front of her.
And I teach English as a second language.
Mackenzie Floyd is a vocational rehabilitation counselor.
Jessie came to us with, she had a really great skill set. She's fluent in Spanish, and so it was really just, my work was really just kind of connecting Jessie with resources to help her kind of get to that career path that she had envisioned for herself.
Jessie hands Mackenzie a marker as she walks up to the whiteboard to join her. Jessie hands her an apple. Mackenzie holds the apple up to the whiteboard and smiles.
Their support was crucial in my process of getting back into teaching again.
So, it was, again, just making those connections and helping get her connected to various resources like assistive technology that she would need to be able to teach remotely.
Jessie and Mackenzie walk down a sidewalk.
And that went on for a little while, and it ended up being a really nice fit. I think that they caught on pretty quickly that Jessie had an amazing skill set and was really serving the students that she was working with well. And so employment was just kind of a natural transition.
Jessie and Mackenzie talk and laugh together on the sidewalk and in the classroom.
The emotional part, though, that I felt was one of success. Like, oh, okay, I don't need the support right now.
The Vermont Association for the Blind also does orientation and mobility training, where it's like more intensive and somebody's checking in more frequently.
Mark Companion talks via Zoom from Virginia's Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired, where he works as an orientation and mobility instructor.
Some of the great support that DBVI gave me was initially when I was diagnosed to just help me think about what this was all about and not to worry that, you know, you can still live the life you want to live. You might just have to learn to do things differently.
Taya Tar is a vocational rehabilitation counselor.
You know, sometimes individuals don't know what they want, right? And they're afraid and unsure of themselves. And so sometimes it's just starting at square one and building some confidence.
As I look back on my interactions with the folks at DBVI, I'm impressed at how flexible they were, how adaptable they could be to my evolving needs as my eyes slowly deteriorated over many years. They jumped in at different points of that process with an open mind of, well, what do you need now, Mark?
You know, I provide informed choice, I provide options, you know, kind of an understanding of what, depending on their vision, they may need different levels of services or accommodations, and, you know, and even assistive technology. But it's really ultimately the goal of the individual and what they're trying to achieve.
When confronted with a diagnosis of blindness, a lot of us are wondering if we'll ever be able to do the things we love to do again. I used to bicycle, I used to play cards, I used to crochet, I love my grandchildren, whatever for each person. And we think that, you know, we won't be able to do those anymore.
Mark teaches white cane mobility courses. Mark walks down the street with a white cane behind his students walking past the store with a white cane. Mark and 10 students hold their white canes in the air. A yellow Labrador is in the foreground.
But with some proper training and having conversations with people who have been through the transition to feeling comfortable about blindness, you can do those things again.
Colby closes the ambulance door. He walks into the fire station from the garage.
The message that I would say for other people, to not let your visual impairment impact your happiness in the occupation that you decide to pursue.
Knowing that I had people that were always going to have my back helped me talk through, I guess, process what the issue was at hand and how we could problem solve it was priceless, because I guess it helped me know that I could be independent and try and figure things out, but when I get to a point where I'm stuck, they're there to help me.
To reach Vermont's specialized vocational rehabilitation agency for people who are blind or visually impaired, call 1-888-405-5005. Email at ahs.daildbvi.info@vermont.gov or visit dbvi.vermont.gov.